Hey guys, it's Chase, and I'm here to do a tutorial on a basic wall plane isolation. I saw a post in, I think it was PoiChat, about, I think it was Steven talking about how much trouble he was having with isolations. And I tried to make a comment explaining them, and I realized it would be much easier to show than it would be to explain. So this is for you, Steven, and anybody else who wants to know how to do a basic wall plane isolation. So, the definition of an isolation is 2 points, the poi and the hand, isolating around the center of rotation being in between the two, as opposed to a buzzsaw where the swing is isolating around your hand, or rotating around your hand rather. And sometimes it's easier to get used to the motion of an isolation just by doing it with one hand. And try to imagine a point off in the distance and keeping your hand and your poi spinning around that one point. And the primary difference between a basic rotation and an isolation is a rotation is that there's always going to be tension on your hand, whereas an isolation is more of a toss and a catch. It's like a toss and a catch. So when I'm doing this, my hand is going to be catching the poi when it goes over here. But as soon as it goes up here, it's kind of like drifting to let the poi spin by itself. So you'll feel like you only feel tension on your hand half the time. And you just need to keep working on that and kind of get used to that motion of just like toss, catch, toss, catch, toss, catch, and try to keep them in the same unit circle. Now, then you can start doing that with the other hand. But personally, I didn't learn doing one at a time. I kind of applied that later on. Because it doesn't matter, because once you go into a regular isolation, you're doing that with both hands and opposing time. So when one hand's catching, the other hand's going to be tossing. So it's going to only one of your hands are going to be having tension on the poi at a time, and you keep that in continuous alternation, I guess it would be. So trying to keep one hand at the end of the other poi. So as opposed to buzzsaw like this, or isolation. So doing it in front of you, just imagine 1 point off the distance and try to keep your hands following that point and following that toss-catch alternation to keep going around in a circle around each other. It's going to take a lot of practice, but I really recommend practicing with sock poi, because sock poi are elastic and they can really help you feel that toss-catch better, and it helps you feel like always tension on your hands, even though the poi are a little bit softer. Whereas opposed to like contact poi like these or pod poi, it's like a fixed tether, so it can kind of get a little wonky trying to do it for the first time. Me personally, it took me about a month of doing nothing but isolations to even do anything remotely close to looking like it. And from then on, it took a lot of practice to actually clean it up. And once you get the isolation, you can kind of play with the toss-catch aspect, like coming into like a split same extension into isolation, or even later on an isolated anti-spin buzzsaw, or an in-spin anti-spin fountain, or in-spin isolation fountain, or an isolated weave, which is more so just switching which hands on the inside, on either side of your body, and something I've been working on lately, and isolated behind the back, so we'll do it. Kind of working on that, but really, it's really not much to explain other than just the basic mathematics of it, which is keeping your hand and poi following the same path, whereas your poi are following its own path, and your hand is fixed in a basic rotation. So as long as you remember that dynamic and kind of do what you need to do with your hand to keep that poi in the same circle as your hand, and then just following the point. If I were good at video editing, I would add a little point to show you where the center of rotation is. And that's pretty much it. There's not really much to it other than that, except just a lot of practice and just getting your muscle memory down to understand that. So, yeah, that's it. Happy spinning.